Ahoy and welcome to Scarlet Lady. This is the 2025 tour. I'm going to give you a complete walkthrough of the ship with a ton of helpful tips. This is really for someone who's never sailed with Virgin Voyages before, is getting on Scarlet Lady, and this will give you a really good gist of what the ship is like. I'm going to take you through all of the main spaces, and I'm really excited because I haven't been on Scarlet in a year, and she's gone through a lot of makeover and changes in her glow up, so we'll be checking those out as well. And if you're new here, ahoy, I'm Lozada. I love Virgin Voyages. I want you to be a smart traveler. Consider price comparing. Be a smart traveler. It takes just a second. So where we're at right now is the 7th floor roundabout space. This is an area that you will be walking through, spending time in a lot throughout your voyage. And one of the things that's really helpful is that we are in the middle part of the ship. And a top tip for not getting lost, anytime you need to go up and down and navigate to something, go straight to the mid, take these elevators or stairs, and then go to where you need to go. You'll see why as we go through the rest of the ship, that there are what I call dead areas that don't allow you to pass through, but you can always know that being in mid allows you to find your way around. Over here behind me, we have Shore Things. And at the Shore Things space, this is where you have all of your excursions, and the team will help you to sign up. And also, if you've signed up through the app, this is oftentimes one of the spaces that you'll be meeting them at. And then what's in front of me here is one of the DJ setups. And then also in front of me is the vinyl. And so you can see all the different records that they have over here. And then on this space over here, you have the Draught Haus. The Draught Haus is a really great spot that, to be honest, a lot of people miss, that has a lot of really nice beer selection. So if you're into beer and you're into that kind of drinks, then here is going to be your option for that. Obviously, they have other drinks as well, but this is a beer forward space. And behind me is a space that a lot of people just hang out at. It's often a reading or a quiet space, and they also hold a lot of art activities over here. So a lot of people like to sit over in this space. That's where I will often set up with my laptop sometimes. And so this is the 7th floor roundabout. If you didn't notice this, what's over here is actually a compass. You can kind of take a look at that. A lot of people don't realize it and don't know it. There's 2 spaces that I love that are right in front of me. And if you didn't know this, there are 20 eateries on board Virgin Voyages, and 6 of them are the main dining restaurants, sit-down dining, dinner, and some of them are brunch restaurants. But where we're headed right now is Lick Me Till Ice Cream. Lick Me Till Ice Cream is a spot that has all kinds of flavors. It's helpful to know that they oftentimes have a rotating flavor. So it's kind of fun to check it out and see what it is for the day. But not only do you have the option to choose the type of cone that you want, but you have all kinds of ice cream flavors to choose from. And then as you move into this space over here, you have the pizza place. The pizza place is fantastic. It's open from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. And one thing I always do is I set a reminder on my Apple Watch before 2 a.m. so that when I'm dancing in the Manor and lose track of time, I remember to come into here to place my order. And this is a spot that you can come, grab it to go or dine in. You'll see some options while we're in here. As you come in, one thing that's helpful to know is just like the ice cream place, they usually have a rotating flavor. You'll see on this side, they have some to-go items like salad and also some to-go items for drinks, etc. These are things you can take away to your room, eat in, whatever it is that you want. And then they have all kinds of pizzas. My personal favorite is the white truffle and egg. But you can also customize them. So you can always ask for adding pepperoni to something or whatever it is that you want. So you can see around me, there's a bunch of spaces where you can sit down. You can sit down and dine, or there's also the outdoor space. And so there's a few places to sit down inside. This is an insanely heavy door, so I'm gonna push with all of my might. Oh, on this side. We're at port at Puerto Plata today. It's kind of a gloomy day, that's all right. So here is the outdoor space that you can also dine at the pizza place. And if you're a new cruiser, if you're new to cruising, you've never done it before, one thing that's confusing to me when I first started was, can you take your drinks from here to there? Can you take your pizza from here to there? You can go grab your pizza and eat it anywhere you want on the ship. So don't feel like you're limited to just being in this space. But one helpful thing to know is that they'll give you a buzzer after you order your pizza. Hi. And you go, ooh, pizza of the day. Oh, it's a chorizo. That's pretty good. You guys coming back down? So that's the pizza place. And as we move over to the other side of 7, what's on the opposite side is a couple things. One is the Grounds Club, and this is one of 2 locations where you can get coffee. We're gonna head to the back of the ship first, and then we'll go back the other way and take you to my favorite bar. But right here we have what's called the Grounds Club. This is the 7th floor or 7th deck location. What's fun about the Grounds Club is, I love the Danish. Today it's the blueberry Danish, but this is your place to come for premium coffee. You'll see it upstairs when we're in the galley because there are options for free coffee, but here is where you come for your black whites, for your chai lattes, for all of the things that are premium coffees. On average, they're around $4, $5, $6, and you can use your bar tab or sailor loot on those items. And so that's Grounds Club. And as we walk into this space, here is an area that you'll see some nuances between the different ships. So this used to be something else on Scarlet Lady. They've since changed it to just be neutral and seating. But on this side, there's the art that they have in here looks different on Scarlet Lady versus how it looks on Valiant Lady versus how it looks on Resilient Lady. For the most part, everything else is exactly the same. I was actually just on Resilient. I was tempted to wear the same outfit because it's the same ship. There are very, 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 very few differences. You really need to be looking closely to notice the differences. The art is one of them. As we move into this space, we're headed into the social club. And in the social club, this is the place where it's a casual spot. You can grab games, hang out, play some games. And also this is the space where they'll hold trivia, karaoke, and more. So one of the differences between the ships is what you see in front of me here, which is the shuffleboard. The shuffleboard location on Scarlet is different than how it looks on Valiant. So on Valiant, they actually have it over in this space. But at the social club, this is a place where you can eat things like hot dogs, and then they also have wings, and then like popcorn, casual things that you can eat here or take it to go. And they also have floats. They have alcoholic floats, which are really fun to drink. And as you walk into this space, you're gonna find 2 more things. One is going to be the arcade. And one thing I love is playing Miss Pac-Man, but the arcade, helpful to know, is free. A lot of people think you have to pay for the arcade, but you don't. So you can come in here, it's open 24 hours a day. I like to come hang out in the back and literally just rock it out on Miss Pac-Man for a very, very long time. But you have all kinds of options to be able to play old school arcade games over here. This is gonna be my seat later. I'm excited for that. Miss Pac-Man, I'm coming for you. So this is the arcade space. And then on the other side is one of the many bars on the ship. And the one that's on this side is within the social club is Loose Cannon. Loose Cannon, I mean, it varies by sailing, but it tends to be one of the bars that tends to be not as busy as others. And so if you want a little bit more of a quieter bar experience, not always, but oftentimes you can come here. One of the things that's really fun about Loose Cannons is that they do all kinds of like fun like shots, and they'll serve them on top of this octopus. And they also do things that people often call like scorpion bowls or punch bowls, where you can get multiple straws and everyone shares the same drink, if you're into that. So this is Loose Cannon, obviously not open right now, but Loose Cannon is a bar that's on the ship. And don't forget, every single bar has its own unique cocktail. And so you'll find different cocktail lists and things available at each bar. They have a rum one here that a lot of people love. You got a jukebox on this side. And then as we head back out, we are gonna walk back through the social club. And one other thing that's helpful to know, one of the places that I always go to in the social club is the little sweets bar that's over here. I love to eat red vines. I'm not a Twizzler person, I am a red vines person. I'm from California, and it looks like they're opening up right now, but let's go take a look at what they got. So you can see that they're starting to set up on this side. You got all of the different kinds of sweets. It's a fun one to come by and grab something to go. Behind the shuffleboard, you'll see that this is another space that's changed a little bit. So it's a little bit more open in the seating area. Before it was more wooden kind of booth style seating. Now it's a little bit more comfort lounge seating. You got restrooms on this side. For the most part, if you need to use a restroom, people guaranteed are gonna get lost when they're finding it. And if you're like my boyfriend Meatball, he's gonna be like, what's a men's head? They changed the name in a lot of places, but the head refers to a bathroom in case you are a new cruiser or new sailor. This space is normally a retail space. Since we're at port today, it's not open, but you can see on this side, they have a retail space, and behind me, they have some of the items on display. And so this is a place where you can use your sailor loot, or again, anything that you purchase on board is using your band. You tap your band, it's tied to a wallet or your credit card, and that's how you purchase things. As we move into this next space, it's one of my favorite spaces, which is the dock house. There's the dock and the dock house, and the dock house is the interior version. So this is a place where you can come and grab small bites and tapas. They oftentimes will have music on this side, but it's a really great place to relax and lounge. And as you walk into this space of the dock house, you're starting to walk towards the dock house bar. Again, each of the bars has a different cocktail lineup, and it's really fun to go try all the different things around the ship. And so the dock house bar is not open right now, but this is the space where you can go have a seat at the bar, or obviously they have waiters and waitresses. The crew is walking around taking care of you. One helpful tip is when you sit down, if you need help, like if you want to order something, instead of flagging someone down manually, you simply raise the flag for service, and that will help to indicate to someone from the crew that they should come over and help you. But one of my favorite items at the dock house, oh, the grilled shrimp is one of my favorites. And here's a tip, because I'm not saying this is you, but a lot of people message and complain to me that they are starving when they leave Virgin Voyages. And I'm like, well, why didn't you just order 5 or 6 portions? And they're like, I thought I could only order 1. And it's like, well, did you ask? So if you didn't ask, how are you supposed to know? Anyway, it's unlimited portions. So if you get a little small plate and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so small, go order 20 more. They will absolutely bring it out to you. Don't be that guy. As we're moving towards the dock, on this side, you have another to-go fridge. One of my favorite items is the tres leches cake, which they do not have available at this moment. But they have anything from like vegetable salad, you got a smoked turkey breast wrap, got all kinds of things in there, charcuterie boards. And on this side, this is a space that's hard for a lot of people to find. It's called Juice C. And this is where you can get freshly pressed juices, you can get smoothies, things like that. And so that's Juice C, and that's here between the dock house and the dock. All right, let's put sunglasses on and head outside to the dock. And it's a little bit wet and slippery outside, so I'm gonna be extra careful. A helpful tip is that I have a full packing list in case you need tips on what you should bring when you're on board. But one of them that makes me sad is I see people fall all the time. So bringing shoes that are non-slip, I have no shame. I'm straight up wearing Crocs right now. They're super comfortable and they stick to the floor. And so when you come to the back of the dock, you have a bunch of areas where you can sit down. It's a great place for sail away, for watching the sunset. You have places you can sit down upright, and you also have places you can lie down. And so they actually provide towels out here. This is a great place where you can get some sun and just enjoy the views, especially from the back of the ship. It's really, really nice out here. This is the dock house bar on this side. Obviously they have, and you can see some of the crew walking around, waiters and waitresses that will help you. Keep an eye on the schedule. One of the things I love is coming to the dock, because they will oftentimes have music out here. Usually it's like a chiller vibe when they have music, whether it's a DJ playing more chill music, or if it's even acoustic music and people who come with their instruments. And so this has actually changed. Normally this used to be a space where they had like a table and the DJ would set up behind there. So that's changed a little bit. To be determined on how it is. I'm only on, I think, day 3 of this sailing. But this is the dock house. Hi. How are you? I'm good, thank you. And then one thing that's over on this side, and this is why one of the top things to pack on Virgin Voyages is a reusable water bottle. And that's because there are water refill stations just about everywhere on the ship. That was one of them. You're gonna see a lot more as we're walking through. This is a little bit of a difficult space to walk through, but we're gonna pop out on the other side of the wake. The wake. All right. So we just kind of did a little circly thing. You can see on this side, brings us back to the dock house. And now we're gonna head downstairs into the wake. Here's something that throws a lot of people off. The wake, enter on 7, dine on 6. So you're gonna come to 7, you're gonna check in here with the host or hostess, and then we are gonna head downstairs into the wake. This is your classic seafood and steak restaurant, and there's a new change that you're about to see that I'm very excited to show you. As you come downstairs, you'll see on this side, this is where you have the waiting area. So normally you'll check in and then you'll come down to this space, wait a minute or less, or a couple minutes, and then they'll take you to your table, if not immediately. One thing that's different on Scarlet versus the other ships is they do have the piano here. They don't have that on the other side. And so I love the wake. One of my favorite things to eat is the clam chowder and the wedge and the lamb chops and the steak and the seafood tower and the tomahawk and the steak. The wake is just a really awesome restaurant. Beautiful in here. And as you're looking at this, if you're like, oh wow, that looks so upscale, Virgin Voyages is a come as you are cruise line. Plenty of times I've come in here dressed super casual or come in here dressed in my pajama party pajamas, because why not? And so one thing that you'll notice that's different, if you've sailed before on the other ships, they've added a little bit of detail that's new. So these little stands that are here, this is new, but the thing I'm so excited for is what's in front of me right now. So this space used to be an area where they had seafood towers, and no one ever sat here. And now they've opened it up, made it more of a wine bar experience. I'm gonna be enjoying this space later in my sailing, but you can sit as a couple. I'm sailing alone on this one, so I don't know, maybe I'll find a friend, maybe not. I enjoy the company of my steak. So this is the wake. And don't forget, if you're getting some value out of this video, cheers that like button, consider subscribing. I want you to be a smart traveler and book with us. Make sure you're price comparing. Whatever price you find out there, you simply say, this is my sailing, this is the price I found, can you do better? And boom, within a text, an email, or using the form, whatever you want, you'll have an answer within a couple hours. There's no reason not to do it. All right. Yesterday I did the Legs Blast class. Lots of free fitness classes on Virgin Voyages. We'll go into those fitness spaces in just a bit. I'm out of breath. All right, let's fast forward and head to the other side. All right, and we're back. So we're back to the Roundabout space on the 7th floor. We're still on the 7th floor. One thing I wanted to show you is this space over here, which is just a really nice quiet space. Technically, the entire 7th floor is known as a quiet space. I don't know how quiet it actually is. Sometimes it is quite quiet though. But I do love that space. You have the Shore Things desk again over on this side. And now we're gonna head into my favorite bar, which should not be open at this time, but we'll find out in just a second. On this side, you have Future Voyages where you can talk to them about options for your next Virgin Voyages. SIP is known as the champagne bar. Obviously, they serve significantly more than champagne. Sometimes on this side, they'll have music set up, but it's a really beautiful space where you can, again, have the crew come around and serve you, or you can go up to the bar. One of the things I love about this area is they will also, on sea days, do high tea. High tea is an additional option, just about, it's very easy to do, in my opinion, your entire voyage with no upcharges, no additional anything, but it is an option for you if you want to do a high tea. There is a small price for that. It's around, at this time, $19 for just the high tea with tea, or it's, I believe it's $35 if you want it with Moet, which is fantastic value because Moet by itself is $25. Anything that you are paying for on Virgin Voyages, if you sign up for any of the events or the classes or things like that, they will always exceed the amount of value that they're giving you. So that was SIP. Obviously not open right now, but I love that champagne bar. One of the things that's a spot that you will go to a lot is the Red Room. So what's in front of me right now is the Red Room. I'm gonna put money on it that people are rehearsing right now. So I am going to bring you inside and then talk to you outside so I don't disturb. I try very hard to be respectful, especially with a camera. So I have two helpful tips for you. One is the Red Room is often, not all the time, often a spot that you will enter through 6, but they have an entrance through 7 as well. So most events you'll enter through 6, but sometimes you can enter through 7 depending on the event. And the reason you're like, oh, that makes no sense. This room can change into so many different configurations. So depending on the configuration, you might not have the option to be able to enter on 7 and then enjoy whatever the show or the thing is. And so if you have something at the Red Room, it's always safest to try to go enter on 6. I'll show you that in just a minute. Right now they are rehearsing. It's Ships in the Night that they're rehearsing for right now. What's helpful to know is a lot of people are like, well, yeah, but how do I know which show is going to be on my voyage? It's helpful to know that on the website, and that link is in the description below, as well as so many other resources, is that it will tell you real time what shows are happening. And I get it. If your voyage isn't until, you know, a couple years from now or a year from now, don't check it right now, check it later. And the other thing that's helpful is I have like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and over 50 YouTube videos. If you want the top helpful tips summarized, the best of what I got is in my printable guide. You can check that out in the description below. Okay, that's the Red Room. Here's one thing that's different on Scarlet Lady. The art that's over here is different than on the other ships. Not really a big deal. I mean, I haven't even walked around this full ship in over a year, and you can tell, like, I'm not lost. Like, the layout is exactly the same. A lot of people are like, oh, I didn't realize the restaurant would be the same. And it's like, yes, everything is the same. There's very small nuances and differences. Over on this side, oh, maybe we'll hear someone belting. Oh, I can hear it from here. This is the Groupie. But before we jump in there, I just want to show you on this side really quick. You have the other side of the Red Room. Again, I'm going to bring you down to 6. You'll see that in a second. Some restrooms are over here on this side. But what's behind me right now is the Groupie. This is the karaoke space. And when we go in there, I'll show you the different rooms. But it's helpful to know that all of these things are free and available to you. So a lot of people think that they have to pay for this, and so they don't use it. It's like, no, totally use it. All right, this is the Groupie, and the way in which you sign up for these karaoke rooms, oh, I can hear people singing, is here. So the Groupie sign-up sheet, and you're simply putting your name down and which room you want to be in. You're like, whoa, which room? So you can see like the purple room in front of me. Fits 8 to 10 sailors. A little bit smaller over here is the pink room with 4 to 6 sailors. And then what I'm listening to right now is someone belting it out in the single room. So, oh, sorry, the 2 to 4 sailor room, the blue room. Actually sounds pretty good. In every highway and I dig it. Props. All right, let's head down to 6. All right, the 6th floor. This is the mystery space that's different sometimes on each of the ships. The den, so they turned it, they turned it into private crew access. So also on Resilient, it's private crew access only. And on Valiant, they're testing another expanded casino space over there. So that's one thing that's kind of different between the ships. I was chatting with someone last night who loves to gamble, and he doesn't really like the new gambling space on Valiant, but that's his opinion. All right. The Red Room. The Red Room, this is the entrance on 6. This is a place where you'll find all kinds of events. Know that if you're coming here, generally you're entering right behind me on 6. As we walk into this next space, this is where you're going to find the casino. There has been some changes on Scarlet Lady in which they added more slot machines, an expanded slot machine space. I don't gamble, so I don't know if I noticed that difference right now. But this is a place that gets very busy, especially in the evenings. Here you have the casino, and one thing that throws off so many people is the Manor. The Manor is a space that you will go to a lot, both for shows, for the VHS workouts, for all kinds of things, for your nighttime events and more. And you enter that through the casino, and that's where you'll find the Manor. This is where they have the famous hallway that everyone likes to take pictures in. Let's go walk into there and show you. There might be rehearsals, so let's be quiet. All right, so this is the famous hallway that everyone loves to take pictures in. It's hard to take a picture if you're trying to do it while people are walking in and out of shows. It's really easy to walk in at a time that's not busy and get that taken care of. One thing that's helpful to know about the Manor, so these doors right here is where you'd normally walk into the downstairs space. My guess is it's closed due to rehearsals, so I'm not gonna open that door. They'll definitely hear me. But one thing that's helpful to know is that there's an upstairs Manor space. So when you are at the night events, the club events, or you're even at the comedy show I was at the other day, you have the option to go upstairs and enjoy these things. And just a lot of people don't know that that's an option available to you. And so the upstairs Manor space is actually quite nice. I enjoy it. All right, you ready for more tour? Don't forget to choose that like button and actually tell me in the comments below when you're sailing on Virgin Voyages. I am on board all the time. I sailed on Valiant Lady 11 times last year. This year I'll be on Scarlet, actually I think 4 times in 3 months. What we have in front of us here is the casino bar. Obviously not open right now, but that's another bar that's on the ship. And as we head into this space of 6, now we're at the Roundabout on the 6th floor. So at the bottom of the Roundabout is oftentimes what they'll call it. It's the bottom of the stairwell, which you'll see right here on my right-hand side. This is the stairwell that comes down. Above that is that compass that I had showed you. But the bar you're looking at right now is on the rocks. And actually, let's take a quick look, because there's seating both on the back side, all the way in the back. But the On the Rocks bar they have everything, but it's more of a focus on whiskey. And so they have tons of whiskey options available over here at On the Rocks. They'll also have tons of performances. So they have bands, they have the acoustic artists, they'll do all kinds of events. Sometimes they'll do the Charmers Lounge over here. The Charmers Lounge is the Happenings cast magician on board will sometimes perform here. That's kind of a newer thing. But this is On the Rocks. So On the Rocks is kind of a larger bar. What you'll see in front of me over here is where Scarlet Night starts. A lot of people don't realize where they need to be and that it starts at 9 o'clock here. And so it's just helpful to know. And don't forget, there's an entire crash course. I'm here for you every step of the way of your sailing, and all my top tips for Scarlet Night are in that video. What we have in front of us here is the beginning of High Street. High Street is the shopping area. And one of the first things we have here is Squid Ink. That's right, they have a tattoo parlor at sea. So if you want to get tatted up on Virgin Voyages, this is an option that's available to you. You can go get a tattoo. You can actually use your sailor loot to be able to get a tattoo. When I brought my mom on board, she was inspired. I asked her if she was inspired by the tattoo artists had eyelid tattoos. I don't know, she considered it for half a second. On this side is what's called Booty Free. This is where you'll find all of your liquor, etc. And if you're new to cruising, this isn't liquor that you buy and bring back to your room, or wine that you buy and bring back to your room. This is what you can buy and then at the end of your sailing, bring it home. So it's not for consumption on board. Over on this side is MAC. And so what's helpful to know on Scarlet, they have this makeup space here. They also have Chanel, the makeup space on Valiant, but Resilient does not have a makeup space. They also have Stubble and Groom. This is a spot that Meatball, my boyfriend, loves to come to. It's a space where they do men's grooming. He loves to get the hot shave. It's a really great option to be able to pamper yourself while you are at sea or at port. On the other side here is a place where, especially if you want to get a blowout for Scarlet Night, Dry Dock is the place that you're going to, and it's one that you need to book in advance, especially if you want Scarlet Night. I've done a blowout here before, fantastic experience, I love it. Now as we walk into High Street, a lot of the shops are closed right now, again, because we're at port, but it gives you a sense of how big the space is, as well as how many options are over here. One of the things that people always ask me is, oh my gosh, where did you get the fill in the blank Virgin Voyages swag or gear? And it's here in the Virgin Voyages store. And the thing about it though, is that this inventory changes all the time. So it's kind of helpful to know that if there's something that you want or like, I kind of recommend you just get it, because it might not be available ever again. And sometimes it comes back time and time again. I don't know, it varies all the time. But that's the Virgin Voyages store. We're on 6, and this is a part that will confuse lots of people. The restaurant that leads over on this side is different than the restaurant on the other side, and there's only one way to enter, and it's through High Street. So if I'm correct, on this side will be Extra Virgin. This is your elevated Italian restaurant, and it's a place that I love to come to, not just for pasta, but for everything. This is one of my didn't used to be my favorite. Now it's one of my favorites. Their steak here is amazing. They have a porcini dusted steak. I absolutely love it. Let's go head inside, because if I were you, I'd be like, Christine, come on, show me. I want to see what it looks like. Let's just ask really quick. Ahoy. Is it okay if I walk through? Is it okay if I just walk through really quick? Thank you so much. All right, so this is extra virgin, not open right now, but it's open every evening. So all the restaurants, their general hours are 5:45 p.m. to 10 p.m., something like that. The exact hours are in your app, but that is 90% accurate. Extra virgin, beautiful space. They have options for truffles. They have options for lots of things that you can enhance your dining experience, but the regular menu as it is amazing. My top tip for dining at Extra Virgin is half portions of pasta. What do I mean by that? There are lots and lots of pasta dishes, maybe around 6 of them. And the only way you can try all of them, actually never mind, maybe it's amateur hour. A lot of people tell me I just need to suck it up and eat more. But I like to do half portions of pasta, and then I try to get four of them, or you try to get a bunch of people together to dine and share a bunch of things. This is a great place, a lot of places, but this one is one of the great places for family style dining. Thank you. You did see behind me that they do have like a bar space, and you can dine there as well. Ooh, can I sneak over here? Thank you very much. Extra Virgin, a fantastic restaurant and different than the restaurant on the other side. So let's go head over there, because, oh, I'm so curious after you sail what you'll think of the restaurant that's on the other side. It's always I don't know, no one is ever so about Test Kitchen. People either love it or hate it. There's never anyone that's like in between. I don't know. What I think is cool about it is it's really difficult to find restaurants like Test Kitchen on a cruise ship, where it's gastronomy, where it's experimental dining, where it's just a very unique experience. It's really about the preparation and the display of the food. I used to live in New York City and San Francisco for many, many years. So it's something I'm really used to, but it's so fun for me to dine at Test Kitchen and watch other people experiencing it for their first time. I've never seen this door closed before. So since I can't go inside, I'm gonna show you a video clip of a walkthrough of Test Kitchen. It's gonna be exactly the same in here. The helpful things to know is that there are different menus. Right now, I'm on an 8-night sailing. If there's only 6 restaurants, then that means you are doubling up on things. And if you come to Test Kitchen twice, they will change the menu usually halfway through the voyage. So it's helpful to know that if you're like, oh, well, it's gonna be the same menu again, it's not a bad idea to book Test Kitchen early in the sailing, and then again at the end of your sailing, so you can try both of the menus. That's a really fun thing to do. And for the rest of the restaurants, it's like, oh, which one should I dine at twice? Whether you order the same dish, I mean, it's taken me a lot of time to finally try everything on the menu. And there's still things at these restaurants that I still haven't tried yet. All right, so that's Test Kitchen. And as we walk back to the other side, we're headed back toward On the Rocks, and you'll see a continuation of High Street. You got more shops, you got sunglasses on one side, you got beauty products, and ooh, I could use some lotion. On the other side, we got watches, etc. So this has been the 6th floor. Let's head down to 5. So as we head down to 5, there's 4 things that you need to know here. Let's start with the one that throws people off the most and head over this way. This is where Sailor Services is at. Sailor Services is the area where customer service can help you. If you have any kinds of issues or questions or anything like that, Sailor Services is the place to go. It's also helpful to know a lot of people, I mean, they're updating the app right now, but it's one of the spaces that you can pick up the daily printed itinerary. That's really helpful, so you don't have to look at the app so much. The top thing though that throws off a lot of people is that pink agave is located through Sailor Services. So to get to this restaurant, you have to walk through here. This is like your Mexico City inspired Mexican food, Spanish food, Latin cuisine. It's delicious. One of my favorite dishes here, I don't even know why I always try to tell you what my favorite dish is, because then I don't even know how to answer it, is I would have to say the pato, the duck. I love the duck. I usually order it medium, if not medium rare sometimes. But one of the other dishes that people love here is the steak. Oh, the beef steak. This is also a spot that has a lot of options for tequila. Currently closed right now, but the mezcal and tequila list here is humongous. And so this is Pink Agave. This is one of the more popular restaurants on the ship. And one thing that they started doing last year is Pink Agave After Dark. And that means right here in this space, the DJ will set up, and from 9:30 until 11 or so, this space is an area where people will come to dance, or if you're like me, I'll usually just go to the bar and have a drink and enjoy the music. Or if because people are still dining during that time, sometimes I'll try to grab one of these front seats if there's availability to be able to sit down, listen to the music, and occasionally get up and dance, or don't sit down at all and just dance the entire time. But this is Pink Agave, and the helpful thing to know is you're entering here through Sailor Services. On the other side of Sailor Services, on the other side of Pink Agave, is the other restaurant, which is Razzle Dazzle, but now Lucky Lotus. So I'm really excited to show you that. But between here and there, there's one more thing that I want to show you, which is the spa. The spa is located on 5, and again, remember what I said in the beginning? Mid. It's all about mid. If you need to get somewhere, go to the middle of the ship, go up and down those stairs or escalator. And so it's a little bit busy right now. I'm not going to bother the people that are in there, but on this side, you have the spa. And if you want to see what the Thermal Suite Spa looks like, I have a full video about that as well. But walking into this space, we got Razzle Dazzle. Razzle Dazzle has since transformed into Lucky Lotus. This is on Scarlet Lady only at this time. And if you've seen the other ships, you're gonna notice the difference. I went and peeked in the other night. I've yet to dine here. I'm very excited to try it out. Lucky Lotus. All right, let's go check it out. You can already tell this space is more muted than what the other normal Razzle Dazzle space looked like. Razzle Dazzle. So you can see this is a really beautiful restaurant. Aesthetically, they have changed it to be a lot more muted and a little bit more, I guess, in my opinion, I would say this looks less fun than what Razzle Dazzle used to look like, and a little bit more modern and elevated. But this is your Asian restaurant. And you know what, if you didn't know this, what inspired Lucky Lotus is the success of the Asian night market at sea. If you're like, what the heck is that? The Asian night market at sea is during the summertime, they have something called the Eat and Drink Festival. And the Eat and Drink Festival is a temporary event, and they turned the entire galley into an Asian night market. Every single food stall transformed into something else. And it was really cool to experience it because, I mean, oh my gosh, it took me 2 voyages and eating there 3 times to eat about 20% of what they offered. It was so much selection, but it was wildly successful. And because of that, that's where Lucky Lotus was inspired from. All right, so we just saw Lucky Lotus. Oh, I didn't tell you. It's helpful to know that both Lucky Lotus and The Wake are the 2 restaurants that also serve, this is a heavy door. I'm working hard for you. Cheers, that like button. Woo! These are the 2 restaurants that also serve brunch. So your brunch options are these 2. There's obviously breakfast in the galley, in which each of the food stalls transforms into serving a breakfast item instead of a lunch dinner item. But this is your spot to book your brunch, and right now all of that is happening 45 days in advance. Whew. All right, that's level 5. Now we are going to completely change gears, and we're gonna head upstairs, and I'm gonna show you the galley. Ahoy, Christine Lozada here real quick, taking a break in the nice air conditioning of the Cycle Studio. I just wanted to pop in to say, I want you to book with us. Be a smart traveler. 3 travel agents today just booked their sailings with us, and also people who realized they got a way better deal who have already booked, move their bookings over to us. We know how to take care of you, so make sure you check the info in the description. It literally takes 30 seconds to price compare with us. So be a smart traveler, and let's get back to the tour after I enjoy this air conditioning for just 1 more minute. All right, friends, it's about to get loud, so I got my microphone so you can hear me. But one thing that's helpful to know is that on every single floor, you're going to have what we're looking at right now, which is a map. So as a recap, we were on 7. That's where we started. I showed you every space that was in there. And then we headed down to 6. We looked at everything there, High Street, the bar, and the restaurants that are down there. And now we're headed into the Galley. It's going to be jam-packed in there. A lot of people are coming back on the ship, and it's, to be honest, not the nicest day in the Dominican Republic today. So it's been pretty busy around the ship, but you want to know why I'm filming it on this day at this busy time? It's a number of complaints that I've gotten when people are like, don't make these ship tours when no one's around. And I'm like, don't you want to be able to hear me? But anyway, to each their own. All right, Galley. You have, as you walk in, a takeaway fridge. And you have all of the different items that you can bring back to your room or just dine here with. Also helpful to know that a lot of people miss is the actual directory. So you can see a list of all the places that are available within the Galley. And also you'll see yet another one of the water refill stations, as well as a second fridge that has more items that you can take away. You have seating right here on the other side. And then as you walk in on the side that I'm on, and it kind of extends on both sides. We'll walk over there. The first thing you have is Bento Baby, and this is where they have all of the different sushi items. And during the morning, these bento boxes turn into like fruit with granola and yogurt, etc. But right now, you have different options for different rolls. What's behind me is something that's important to know, which is the free coffee. And they have a really fantastic option for delicious coffee. I come here every morning, but this is the free coffee that's available to you if you don't want premium coffee. We're about to see the other location of premium coffee on the other side. What's over here is Pops and Bubs. This is a spot where they have popsicles, and you can get the popsicles on their own, or you can dip them into some sparkling wine or champagne. They always have a rotating flavor. And also in front of me right now is one of my most favorite servers. You know, we'll meet up with him later. That's Baron. Love him, from Zimbabwe. And at Pops and Bubs, you have the option to just get the popsicles. They have a rotating flavor, or you can get a glass of bubbles, which sadly, I have complaints as well that Virgin Voyages doesn't pay for my alcohol. They're not going to pay for yours either. But you should get some bar tab. That's always a helpful tip. There's a full podcast about that, by the way. Diner and Dash, this is a spot that's open 24 hours. Helpful to know is that each night they will change the dinner option that's available here. They'll usually text you what it is in the app, and you'll also find it on your daily schedule and itinerary. On the other side is the Burger Bar, and this is also open 24 hours. And what's helpful to know is that each day there is a rotating burger. And today is El Chimi Republicano. Oh, I've never seen that one. That looks delicious. We got a marinated beef patty with grilled tomatoes and chimi sauce. Oh, I'm hungry, I'm not gonna lie. On this side is Well Bread, and then we go into the sweet spot. And one of the things, and we're about to see this restaurant, Gunbae doesn't really have a lot of dessert options. And so it's always nice to know that the sweet side, the spot you literally walk out into, and they have all kinds of different dessert options. I would say one of the favorites that I have, oh, yes, the dulce de leche macaron. Yes, has my name on it over here. Hi. So this is a spot where you will find different kinds of dessert items. Let's walk over to this space because I just referenced one of the other restaurants, and this throws off a lot of people because Gunbae is a place that you enter through the Galley. So Gunbae is a Korean-style restaurant in which you are sitting with other sailors and you play a drinking game together. It's a really fun environment. Be open-minded, lean into it, and it's a fun place to meet other people as well as to eat Korean barbecue. And so this is a fun spot. You can see the tables are set up to be tables of generally, it's like 6 to 8. Some of the tables are bigger than others, but you're sitting all together in here, and the waiter or waitress crew that is helping you will teach you how to play the drinking game. And one thing that's helpful to know is you do not have to drink alcohol to play the game. A lot of people pass on playing because they're like, oh, well, I don't drink. And that's perfectly fine. I never drink the one free shot of soju that they give you. It's just too sweet for me. It makes me feel hungover the next day. So I always fill my glass with champagne. When my mom played, we used water. I played with Tommy. He's 18. He used, I think he used cranberry juice. No, I think he used water. Anyway, Gunbae is one that you should absolutely try out, a really fun experience. As we walk on the other side of the Galley, you'll find a couple more restaurants that are over here. One is the Daily Mix. The Daily Mix is where you're going to find salads and soups. And every day they'll have a different soup, and they'll also have a couple salads, but you can also do a make your own. And in general, another thing that's helpful to know is that you can walk up to these places like the gentleman is in front of me, and you can go order your food, or you can sit down, especially like when it's busy like this right now. I will normally sit down and I will raise the flag. And what that means is that you don't have to worry about standing. I stood in line for a really long time today in a kind of, a busy, uncomfortable space. These spaces stress me out. I'm an introvert. I know that sounds weird, but honestly, I am. And so I like to sit somewhere kind of off in the side and raise the flag. This next space I'm really excited to show you, which is the Grounds Club 2. And on Scarlet Lady, they have redone this space to look a lot more elevated. So they've always had alcohol over here, but now they've expanded that selection even more. And they've made it a little bit nicer of a setting to sit down, enjoy your drinks, and be in a little bit more of like a cafe style environment / bar environment. So what we just walked through is the Galley, right? It's super busy right now. Oh, I didn't show you all of the Galley. Wait, there's more. Let's walk you to the back of the Galley, because there's a couple more restaurants that are over there, as well as something that a lot of people miss, which is the outdoor seating area of the Galley. And in the same way, if you don't want to be in this really busy space with everyone, you can just sit outside, raise the flag, and place an order. On each table, they have a menu of all of the things that you've been looking at as I've been walking you through. So as we come over on the other side, you're going to see where I ate at this morning in just a moment. But the first thing you'll see on this side, it's Let's Talk About It. And this is a spot where you'll find tacos and different types of Mexican food items. That's what it normally is. Ooh, I'm excited about this. So they also have this new change on Scarlet Lady, which is Feta Late Than Hungry, where you have some more Greek bites. Again, Scarlet has been over in Europe and on the other side for quite some time, made her way back to the Caribbean. And to be honest, she's only here for a few months before she does the transatlantic back. What's funny is I will be on the majority of those sailings. So if you're on board, tell me in the comments below and I will see you here. Where I dined at this morning is right here, which is Noodle Around. And one thing that is different on Scarlet is that the soup selection that they have, or noodle selection that they have, can change throughout the voyage. I had the tonkatsu ramen. And don't forget, everything here can be kind of customized to what you want. And so Noodle Around's a really great spot. And then the last item that's at the Galley is Hot Off the Press. And Hot Off the Press is a spot where you can go for avocado toast, you can go for different kinds of PB&J, all kinds of different sandwiches and bread items that they press. So this is another spot that you can come to, and their menu, just like I said with all the other ones, is different in the morning than it is in the afternoon. One thing that's also helpful to know is that both on the printed schedule as well as in your app, it will tell you the hours of all of these places. Chivalry is not dead, thank you. And so that's really helpful to know, because a lot of times people don't know when things are open. You can find it on the app and you can find it on that printed itinerary sheet. Oh, I love this space over here, which is the outdoor area of the Galley. And you can see on each of the tables, they do have the little flag and all the little condiments. But one change that they had on Scarlet Lady versus the other lady ships is some of the seating over here looks just a little bit different. I'll show you that before we head upstairs. And so you can already kind of start to see it. You have this big kind of open table here, that's new. Again, these are really subtle differences that if you've never sailed before, it's like, no biggie. All right, the stairs I'm walking up right now is also how you're going to enter the pajama party. The pajama party happens on all of the sailings. It happens on the first night, always, of your sailing. The rest of the parties will vary depending on the length of your itinerary. But in the athletic club, this is where you're gonna find a couple things. One, you'll find the triple net. A lot of people love to sit on the triple net. You can look down, all the way down to the dock on 7. Again, we're on 16 right now. And you'll also have kind of like these day beds that a lot of people lay out on while you're at sea. And then you have the athletic club bar on this side. And there's a full bar over here. And one other thing, a lot of people ask this question, where can I find sports? Where can I find American football? Where can I find soccer? And they will play that here at the athletic club as well as at the social club. So you have options for that as well. Oh, I'm out of breath just from going up those stairs. All right, you have hot tubs on this side, and I am gonna walk you over on this side. I'm gonna take you to the training camp. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't look at the gym. We're gonna head downstairs and look at the gym as well. There are a few gym spaces. We're gonna do things a little bit backwards in this walkthrough video, but we're gonna be fantastic. Don't forget, if you're ever like, wait, how do I get to, just go to the mid, go in the middle of the ship, go up and down, and then try to get to where you're going to. Over here is what's called the sports court or the sports deck. And it's kind of it's small. They introduced pickleball early last year. It's tough because it's not a full court, plus it's really windy up here, but you can see they have the setup happening right now. They have a basketball court, and then this is also where they have dodgeball, and sometimes they'll do other events with the happenings cast out here as well. Like I've seen the boy band dance class happen outside here. So this is the sports deck. And if you do play pickleball, they provide all of the gear, although I always tend to bring my own. As we walk outside, you'll see more options for day beds. You've got a whole view of the Dominican Republic out here. And one thing that's different and new on Scarlet Lady is they changed some of the fitness equipment. So starting after this last bed over here, they used to have a lot more fitness equipment that was outside. I mean, I use it, but I've never really seen anyone use it. And so they've removed those items. I'm sure they're still doing some improvements and changes to it. But over here, you still have some of the fitness equipment, and it will lead into the training camp. We'll go in there in just a second. But let's finish walking around this floor first, and then I'm gonna show you some of the gym items. All right, as we come over on this side, you have one section of the pool. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people at the pool today. There's more fitness equipment downstairs. We have people enjoying the bar and the pool on this side. There's also this upstairs bar over here. One of the top things that people ask all the time is about these little red areas to sit. They're totally free and open and available to you. You don't need to reserve them or anything like that. Same thing with the kind of coveted day beds that are down here. Sometimes, especially if the weather is fantastic, it's hard to get them. Two helpful tips. One of them is you cannot hold them for more than 40 minutes. And so if you try to wake up at 6 a.m., throw all your crap on there, and then come out at noon to go enjoy it, they will remove your items, and then obviously you can pick them up. That's one helpful tip. Another helpful tip is set your expectations for the pool. A lot of people complain about the pool, about the size, but I don't know. I'm like, that one's up for debate. Tell me in the comments below what you think. All right, on each of the lady ships, there's a different piece of art that's over here. On Scarlet Lady, it's save water, drink champagne, and then it's different on Valiant and different on Resilient. The one thing that is unique, very unique to Scarlet, is what you're looking at right now. And these are the cabanas. These are new, and they've added them around the pool. They are not inexpensive to rent by any means, but they are a new thing, and they do look quite nice. Personally, I don't know. I don't think I really need that, but it's an option that's available to you. What you have over here is yet another one of the 20 eateries. This is one I didn't discover until way, way, way later, like on my 3rd or 5th sailing or something like that, which is the Sun Club. And this is a spot that has my favorite item, which is the salmon poke bowl. But they also have different kinds of other poke bowls and bao and dips, but that's available over here at the Sun Club. These hours are super unique and weird, so it's definitely one you're going to want to check in the app before you walk all the way out here. Then on the other side is where you're going to find Richard's Rooftop. This is an exclusive space for rock stars only. And so I'm going to walk you through what this space looks like. Sometimes it gets insanely windy out here. Oh, yesterday was windy. But if you're a rock star, one of the key perks, is that every day there's Richard's Sunset Hour, which is from 5 to 6 p.m. They have a select menu of drinks that you can have unlimited. And one of the things is that before, it used to be Moet only. Used to be champagne only, and now they've extended it to a lot more items beyond that. But you can see that this is just a really, really big space. And one of the things that's just nice about Richard's Rooftop, in my opinion, is that it's a very quiet space. Like there's generally not a lot of people over here. Tends to get busy during the sunset hour, etc. Hi, how are you? But this is Richard's Rooftop, really pretty space. And you can see this frosted glass on the other side. And so we're at the front of the ship right now, and what's below us, the entire front portion of the ship takes up the 2 outdoor spaces of the 2 largest rooms on the ship. So the 2 massive mega Rockstar suites are down there. And they're really quite nice. You can see that in the Rockstar video. Ooh. Tell me what you think of this space. So many people have so many different kinds of opinions. I don't know. I guess I'm neither here nor there about it. I'm here for the champagne. I love it. What's on this other side is the smoking area. And so there's a couple smoking areas around the ship. This area is one of them. One thing I've noticed on some of the ships is that sometimes they will set up a bar over there. And so if you're out here enjoying a cigarette, you can also grab a drink at the same time. But this is one of the smoking areas on the ship. And then it takes us to the other side where you'll find a few more of the cabanas before we walk back to the middle portion of the ship. Here's one more view of the pool. And one thing that's a helpful tip to know is a lot of people don't realize that at the Scarlet Night pool party, you can get into the pool. And so one of the funniest things for me is I always, after Scarlet Night, the indoor Scarlet Night, I'll put on bathing suit bottoms when I come to the Scarlet Night pool party. And for the first portion of it, the Happenings cast and crew will dance, and then they will invite you into the pool. And a lot of people don't realize that, and they're always just like, why is this girl in her bathing suit? It's hilarious. Oh no, this guy just fell really hard. Oh, but he didn't spill his drink. That's impressive. It's not like me to show you what that all looked like, so I'm not gonna edit that in, but sometimes I feel like I'm too respectful. People are like, oh, you should show the things. All right, before we head inside, I just wanted to point out 2 things. So what's in front of me over here on this side is cabanas that you can rent. I don't know, I'm not really a fan of them. It's kind of a weird setup, and they're not inexpensive as well, but it is something they will advertise a lot during your sailing. And then as you head into this side, this is where, very difficult to find for a lot of people, is the training camp. And so we're gonna head up to the training camp, and then we are going to go upstairs to the Perch, and I'm gonna show you what that looks like, because there's a lot of fitness classes and other things over there. But first, there's the training camp. And with the training camp, this is a spot where they'll do a lot of the HIIT classes, as well as just a lot of the fitness classes. And sometimes they're taught by the fitness and workout staff, and sometimes they're taught by the Happenings cast. And depending on who it is, it's either a bookable or a non-bookable event. This is a secret restroom BTW. Sometimes I'll use it during the sail away party. Sometimes the crew's working out, so let's look. All right, so my other secret tip is that if the sail away is really hot, sometimes I'll run into here really quick just to enjoy the air conditioning for a second. I don't know, sometimes it's 96 degrees with 90% humidity when you're sailing out of Miami at least. But this is a really nice space to work out. I'm currently on board in January 2025, and what's neat about what's happening right now is the whole Techno Gym, which is the brand of the fitness equipment that they use. All of their staff is on board right now teaching a lot of the classes. So I did a yoga class this morning. I'll show you the space that we did it in, but this is the training camp. Oh, you wanna hear a fun fact? This is really interesting because I was chatting with Normal a couple weeks ago when I was on the Top 100 soiree. That video is in the description, but if you're like, what is that? Basically, the top 100 travel agents are invited to this spectacular soiree. We made top 10, which is the top 0.04% of the 22,000 Virgin Voyages travel agents out there. We are very good at what we do, and we take care of you. Hence me being totally starving right now shooting this video for you, which will take me about 8 hours to edit. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But what I learned from Normal was that training camp space was the teen center. The teen center. Before Virgin Voyages decided to go adults only, they had built that space to be the teen center. Whew. Thank goodness it's not. Thank goodness it's adults only. One of the best things about sailing with Virgin Voyages, my absolute favorite, is just there's a vibe about being just on vacation without kids screaming in the background that just makes for a nice vacation. It also means, like, I don't know, it's just you don't have to tell jokes that go over kids' heads. You know, the entertainment can be raunchy if it wants to be raunchy, but it doesn't have to be raunchy. But if they want to drop an F-bomb, they can absolutely drop an F-bomb, and no parent is worrying about their child. The other thing is that it's so fun for me to see parents go on vacation. All right, we are on 17. This is the Perch. And in this space, you have a couple things. You have the walking and the running track. You have a great spot to go take a photo in front of the Virgin sign. And then you have something called the Perch. You have in front of me right here, you have yet another place to fill your water bottle. And then as you head over onto this side, sometimes this is a private space used for private events, but most frequently it's used for, I've done Zumba out here, I've done yoga out here, I've relaxed out here. Fun fact, you are allowed to be topless on sea days at the Perch. I learned that by doing a tour video during sea day while I was up here. Whoops, you can find that in one of these videos. But this is the Perch. Beautiful, big open space. What's lovely about it, especially when you're at sea, is you're just looking at ocean in every single direction. It's really nice. So this is the Perch. All right, I have not shown you the gym on 15. I did things a little bit in reverse. So let's head downstairs. Okay, so if you didn't notice what I just did, I basically walked back to mid and then I navigated down the stairs, right? A lot of things are off of mid. I'm gonna be respectful of people's workouts. And so you have two sections to the gym. This first section on this side is where you'll find weightlifting, you'll find the bungee classes, you'll find a lot of the fitness classes as well as weights, etc. So you can see some of the bungees that are over here. That's a really fun class. What's helpful to know is there's only 6 spots available in it. So it is the hardest one to drop into and the hardest one to sign up for. If it's something you want to do, I recommend you sign up as soon as you're on board. Every instructor is different and every instructor will give you a completely different experience. I had a great time doing the bungee class with my mom. On the other side is the burn and bike. So on this side, you'll find all of the cardio equipment. There's lockers over here. That's totally optional if you want to use them. I leave my stuff hanging all around the ship all the time. And so you'll find all of the treadmills, ellipticals, and more over on this side. You'll have a stretching space right in front of us. And then one of the easiest classes to drop into is the cycling class. I mean, look at how many bikes there are. There's always somebody who signs up for the 9 a.m. class, realizes that they drank way too much, and they are absolutely not coming. And so this is one of the easier classes to get into. Pretty much all of them are easy, relatively easy to get into, except that bungee class. That's Scarlet Lady. If you have a question or if you have a helpful tip, add it in the comments below. We're all a community. Don't forget, there's an insider guide. We have a Facebook group. We have so many things in the description that most people miss, so don't forget to check that out. I'm Christine Lozada. Don't forget, I'm here for you every step of the way in planning your vacation. So make sure you check the full crash course, book your sailing with us, be a smart traveler, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.